Call this meeting to order. Pledge a flag, Supervisor Thomas. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Do the roll call.
Mr. Conover,
Here.
Mr. Mayday,
Here.
Mr. Diamond,
Here.
Ms. Gilligan, here, Ms. Turner, here, Mr. Bruno,
Here.
Mr. Driscoll,
Here.
Mr. Patchit,
Here.
Mr. Drossy,
Here.
Mr. Bean, Mr. Cressito, Mr. Merlino,
Here.
Mr. Stroud,
Here.
Mr. Wild,
Here.
Mr. McGowan,
Here.
Mr. Strainer,
Here.
Mr. Etu,
Here.
Mr. Thomas,
Here.
Ms. Runyon, here, Chairman Garrity,
Here.
quorum is established.
First item of business, I'd like to congratulate everybody on their elections and their electees. And I'll open the floor up to any public comment. Anybody wish to address the board? State your name. Seeing none, I'll turn the chair over to our budget officer, Frank Thomas, for the budget presentation. Frankie.
Morning, everyone. I do would like to congratulate everyone on their election. Congratulations. Here again today, present the 2026 Warren County budget, proposed budget. This is the last budget that I'll present, which is fine with me. I think this is the 15th one. I'd like to thank Chairman Gary for the opportunity. Once again, I'd also like to thank Administrator Taffley, Assistant Administrator Tammy De Lorenzo, Treasurer's Office, Treasurer Christy Norton, the Deputy Treasurer, Monica Stark, and Dan Donahue, and also Ann Bruno, Confidential Secretary. They are all very much a part of this budget. I'd also like to thank the department heads, work on their individual budgets, and the leadership they provide throughout the year. Their efforts are very much appreciated. This proposed budget for 2026 is $215,742,883 total expenses. The revenue is estimated to be $153,879,000, which leaves an amount to be raised by tax $59,516,497. This is up $6,400,761. 2025 is $53,116,000. This is the second year that will exceed the tax cap, or possibly exceed the tax cap limit. That limit was set by the formula from the comptroller's office of 1 million $383,637. This budget will exceed that cap by $5,017,000. The tax cap was good politics when it was enacted, but it needed an expiration date. I think most municipalities, counties, towns, villages, all faithfully tried to stay under the tax cap. And for years, I think they did. I think that's led over the years by not raising the revenue it's needed to. That's by far. That's the increase of the health insurance, $878,000. The increase in the New York State retirement system, $1,005,000. It's over $2 million. So that exceeds the tax cap by $649,000, just those two items. And this is the second year that it's the same situation last year. Both health insurance, 9% last year, and retirement was 13%. Basically the same numbers. And that's with the county using $475,000 of reserve from the self-insurance and for the health insurance to get it from 11.8% down to 8%. The negotiated salary increases, most of them are 3.25% for the various unions. Amounts to $1,321,866. Then we had DPW allocations of $492,000. Plus the Social Security retirement, so it's well over $500,000. However, I feel, and I think the board felt that this was necessary so that the county can compete not only with the towns but with other counties and be able to employ truck drivers. So to work. Most of our services are about people. We need to maintain their competitive, stay with the pay scales that so people want to work there. But the out of unit people also will receive a 4% pay increase. Additionally, our Medicaid share has increased by $840,000. This is the second year that we've taken a hit on Medicaid. Last year it was close to $900,000. Microsoft Office Systems 365. It's now a license fee for each individual user. And that, along with other licensing fees, is $369,000. They have increases in electric expenses. And also 730 competency exams. I increased that by $200,000. I believe it's budgeted $800,000. Last year in 2024, we spent nearly $2 million. This is an item that I can recall was budgeted at $25,000 and $50,000, and she didn't spend it. Now we're pushing $1 billion plus. The sales tax, while it has increased this year, the last number I saw was about 1.3%. It has leveled off from where it has been in past years. It was running 4% and 5%, which helped carry the county for a few years. I think there's probably 3 budgets are better than the sales tax. Definitely kept the tax rate down considerably. Sales tax this year is budgeted at an estimate of $75,167,620. This is $1 million over the 2025 budget. Part of it is we took the actual 24 and increased it a small percentage. And, part of it is also, anticipated short-term rental sales tax. Additional $169,000 for SUNY Adirondack. I believe this is the second year of a 5-year plan. I budgeted $145,000 for an insurance reserve, was requested by the county attorney. I believe this is a wise thing to do. Settle small claims, before they become big claims. Or get forgotten. It's happened in the past. Personnel, there's an additional 2 sheriff deputies. This is a request from the sheriff for traffic control to help with speeding, people going through red lights, aggressive driving, tailgating, etc. So that was his request, and tried to accommodate. There's also a new driver for hauling solid waste and recyclables for the towns. I believe there's a new truck included. And this provides a savings to all the towns for their hauling expense. And there's also a construction specialist or an engineer for DPW. I believe this, if I recollect, this position was eliminated a few years back, taken out of his budget. There are other creations and deletions within on the sheet that you have before you. The departments either have positions that are no longer occupied or want to reorganize their department, move people around. That's what most of that is. The net cost of those personnel items is $285,400. $1.5 million was removed from the paving request. The paving request was $6,301,000, which was an increase of $673,000. The county share of that is $2,616,000. And that was the rest of that is the capital highway improvement program. And I removed that so that it would not be raised by taxes. However, that 1.5 million is available to fund balance. And my recommendation and hope would be that in 2026, the board would reappropriate that 1.5 million from the fund balance, and as requested by the DPW department head, Mr. Hajos, and continue the progress that they've been making on county roads. Paving program. After many budgets of remaining within the tax cap, cutting .2s, the equipment, and also the .4s, the contractual, reducing the paving. Used to be just CHIPS money, basically. It's all in the budget. To stay within the tax cap tax limit. It's my feeling that that will not, obviously will not get you to where you want to be today. The increases that we have, it's just not gonna, it's not gonna get you there. Again, this is the second year in a row that health insurance and retirement expense alone have exceeded the tax cap. I feel that we've just accomplished budgeting the revenue to compensate for the $5 million, the $5,720 that pay increase that we did in 2022. I think that's into the budget now, and it's not an expense that we're trying to budget. All these costs are going to return that are listed. Majority of these costs, there's a few that won't be there, but pay raises, health insurance, retirement, they'll all be back in 2027. So it's my opinion that the county needs to raise the money to meet these the needs. believe next year, most of the union contracts are 3.5% increase. And, without changes in mandated expenses by New York State, DSS alone is about getting about $40 million this year, which granted, it's not all county money, but probably 45% of it. It wasn't that long ago that it was in the 20s. So without changes in the mandated expenses and, without us restructuring the county services or eliminating services or cutting people, was the expense. You're gonna continue to return to the property tax with similar increases that you see right now. It could be reduced some, but it's gonna get zero. There's always the shifting of cost, like the Medicaid to the, from New York State counties. That goes on practically every year or something. That they decide we should pay for. So it's my opinion, and I know that probably nobody in this room wants to do this. I think the county needs to consider moving ahead with a sales tax increase of 0.5% or a full percent. That'll put us in line with the vast majority of other counties. I think Saratoga, Washington, and Warren are the only three counties that are at 7%. That'll reduce the pressure on the property tax, at least for a time frame, probably 10 years. So, but it'll not only help the county, but it'll help all the towns. We're facing many of the same increases in wages and health insurance and retirement. So that's my 2 cents. I would ask for your support for this budget. I know it's not an ideal budget. Before you have the sheets for the revenues and the estimated revenues and the appropriations, personnel changes. And we do have a PowerPoint. Probably repeat some of what I just said, but it's okay. The goals of this budget. One is to strengthen the long-term physical stability by keeping fund balance at the recommended level, which is 2 months of expenditures. I believe it's 16.7%. Also, to keep the workforce competitive in order to retain employees in every department. I can get done that. This budget continues. Sustain the county infrastructure and roads, culverts, and bridges. The culverts alone, some of the larger culverts have gone from $300,000 or $400,000 to change. Now they're $1 million. They have to be larger, etc. Enhance the public safety by augmenting traffic enforcement program. That's the 2 additional sheriff deputies for traffic control. And also prepare for increasing budgetary challenges of 2026 and beyond. Proposed budget tax cap. Due to increased costs of state pension program, healthcare, and ever growing number of state mandates, we are going to exceed the tax cap again by $5,017,114. The tax cap permits a 2.65%, $1,383,637 increase from the 2025 tax levy of $3,115,736. This budget calls for a levy of $59,516,497. It represents an increase of $6,400,761 over 1.5 budget. Proposed levy means the county tax rate will increase by 3 cents per thousand assessed value from $3.26 to $3.29. The resulting tax increase for a home at the county average of $368,000 will be $11.04. Warren County will continue to have the third lowest property tax rate in the country. And the next sheet just shows in a graph form, the estimated revenues, 153,879,000, and the proposed appropriations of 215. Items that are driving the appropriations, wages, for a total of $3,060,694. New York State retirement, $1,104,941. Health insurance is increased by $874,000. Medicaid shares, $843,000. Subscriptions and licensing, mainly Microsoft Office 65. It's $368,753. The increase in sales tax payments to Glens Falls and towns, $337,559. Estimated increase in electricity costs, $236,900. County attorney legal fees contingency and reserve, $205,000. And the $200,000 for 730 Fort Ordinance amnesty. Total of all those are $7,282,000. The next sheet shows the retirement expenses since 2023, 24, 15, and estimated for 26. The next sheet is for the health insurance. Last 3 years, it's been a pretty steady increase. That's, 8% is pretty good as far as health insurance goes. Because I know in my town it went up close to 15%. I've heard others going 20%. Towns that are community rated and not self-insured. I think the self-insurance has saved the county a considerable amount of money for years, and it gives the county control of their health insurance as much as you can control it. Next we have the revenue sources, and again the sales tax collections increased by $1 million to 75,167,620. 24,629,000 state aid, 13,098,000 federal aid, 10,754,000 in departmental income, and 20,241,000 other income. Significant increase in revenues for the general fund. Sales tax 770. Actually, it's part of that. So we took the 2024 actual. Like 2%. State aid is 1,230,800. Interest and earnings increased by 245,858. Thanks to the county treasurer and the cash invest program. I think that number will be considerably higher. It's all said and done, but we didn't want to Didn't want to put it all in there and then not get it. Seal it. The next sheet shows the sales tax revenue since 2023. Getting about 48, I think 48%, 47% stays with the county. The rest is distributed amongst the towns and the city. The next sheet is revenue by mortgage tax. Staff by $100,000. This proposed budget appropriates $3,297,299 in fund balance. The general fund remains where it was at $1,903,825. $1 million from the county road fund. $215,000 from the machinery, the DM fund, and $148,474 from the West Mountain Reserve. Some of the personnel changes, deletions. One full-time secretary to the clerk of the board, one full-time public health nurse, one full-time senior community service worker for DSS. That's 72% state funded. One Medicaid clerk, again 72% state funded. One food service helper for the office for the aging. One meal site cook, also for the office for the aging. One part-time fire and building code officer for building codes department, and one part-time construction cost coordinator. Additions: one full-time legal clerk in a public defender's office, which is 100% funded by the state. One full-time case manager, also in the public defender's office, 100% funded by New York State. One full-time motor equipment officer, operator, I believe, DPW waste management. A full-time senior caseworker, DSS, again, is 72% funded by the state. Two caseworkers, both funded 72% by the state, and one full-time intake clerk, funded 72%. A laundry worker was added at Countryside, that's 50% funded at the state. Two patrol officers for the sheriff's office, and the one full-time construction specialist there here for DPW. That addition is funded by the county is 5 people. The future, we will continue to face funding challenges as both federal and state funding decreases. Sales tax appears to have leveled out. Should expect smaller increases in the sales tax going forward. Resumption of Native American casino payments and increases in investment income via the Treasurer's initiative are promising offsets. Or you always on casinos. County emergency services will continue to face challenges with an aging population and less volunteers. Warren County and neighboring counties with sales tax less than 8%, the norm state will probably need to consider a moderate sales tax increase of 0.5%, possibly a 1%. Reduction in county spending is difficult to achieve, as only about 20% of the county budget is discretionary. I did that for several years, got the, one fours, vacant positions, and then, you know, long run, I think it hurts the departments. The next sheet is the, assessed value of the county, which is, 8 clusters, I would say. It's gone from 16 billion, 283, 18 billion, 74 billion. Which is and the final sheet is the tax rates. Compared to 2025, each individual. Thank you for your time. And ask if there's any questions for the comments. Happy to entertain. Yes, Supervisor Well.
Sure, thank you. A couple of questions. First one's on page 5, I'm just going to sit back about the wages and retirement health insurance. How many employees do we have currently employed in the county? Full part-time, just looking for kind of an average in terms of wage.
About 850.
850. Thank you very much. On page 10, sales tax. Sales tax revenue.
Yeah.
It appears that on the page, our increase in sales tax isn't necessarily following any kind of inflationary rate. And I'm just curious, I'm thinking myself that there's an issue with our economy in terms of keeping up with an inflation rate of almost 3%. So to me, I'm trying to understand why the gap. Is it that our tourism economy isn't functioning as we would like it to, or are people not spending the money? But I would expect us to kind of keep close to that 3% rate. And we're there.
I suspect it could be both. People aren't spending as much money. Tourism. It's taking.
It's like we kind of stagnant over the next couple of years based on graph. So just something else to look into a little bit more from my standpoint. And on page 12, something to do with the county road fund balance. Over the years, last couple of years, we floated some bonds to be able to keep our roads and our infrastructure up to a certain acceptable level. Because prior to that, with the roads to get worse before we could spend more money, and we actually have cost the county more money to repair a road that was falling apart versus maintaining one that was just in need of a little bit of work. So that's going to impact us moving forward, keeping our roads, culverts, and everything else. Is there any way not to include that in terms of the reduction?
I mean,
And how much consideration is given to that?
Using the $1 million is what you're asking.
Well, giving it back so we can maintain, because I'm worried about years in the future that we don't have that $1 million to keep our roads up. We're going to have to spend maybe $2 million to repair the roads instead of $1.
I think there's an additional $1.5 million in the fund balance. So again, I think after the first of the year, it's the board's pleasure. Should reappropriate that and put it back up to approximately less than amount. I think that by not raising it taxes, granted it pushes it off another year, but I think it gives you an opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
What else? Yes, Supervisor Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple comments. One, I think you've done a good job with this budget as you have over the last 15 years. What I would like to ask is there any monies appropriated on the revenue side of this budget? Monies that we loan to Lake George Coalition in regards to the $3 million. And they promised that they would pay back as their revenue stream. looked into this budget, well, whether it's the tourism department or the occupancy tax department to help, with the cost of the finances that we loan to, Warren County Lake George?
Not that I've seen.
Is that something we should consider? Is some sort of revenue coming back to Warren County in regards to the $3 million venture that we had with Lake George? Is that something I personally think we should put some money in as a revenue stream in regards to that, but I don't know how the rest of the board feels, that $3 million.
Well, if we got that money, we can come back to tourism,
Yeah,
so if we come out of this,
whether it's tourism or occupancy tax, I think it's monies that we need to.
I don't disagree, but we can go back into our general fund.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's money owed back to the county. I was just curious if there's anything, from a budget standpoint, from revenue, that is in this particular budget, which includes tourism and occupancy tax, to help offset that $3 million that, we front-ended to, Lake George Coalition in regards to that event. And I just think it's appropriate that we put something in there, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, to have that booked as a revenue stream, and hopefully, we can collect some of that money back.
Yeah, I think, good point.
Well, it's something we can consider, I guess, right? All right, thank you.
Supervisor Burrow. What else? Yes. Supervisor Garachi.
A question, I'd like to get it on the record, the formula that's used, I believe I know what it is, but I'd like again to confirm it. To get the rates for our individual municipality tax rates. So all of us, except for one, have increases, which is not a surprise. But am I correct that it's based on our individual assessed values?
Yes. Yes. And your equalization.
All right, so again, I don't need it right now, but if you could provide that for treasurer's office, provide the formula that's used to determine the individual tax-based rates for our communities.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Supervisor Agee.
Thank you. I was curious how the electricity went up almost $250,000 when I thought we were receiving a significant discount from the Warren County Airport solar installations.
We haven't received it yet.
So that's not factored into this. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Supervisor Patchen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just note that I think our budget officer did a fantastic job. But I do think it's just worth notating here that I see that the value of Warren County went up. I was just speaking with one of my colleagues about this also, about 2 billion. And that broadens the tax base significantly. And if Warren County ever sees the day come that that number doesn't go up and it stays stagnant, that will significantly increase the tax rate for Warren County taxpayers.
It's gonna hurt.
Just think it's important that maybe we acknowledge that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, Supervisor McGowan.
Well, once again, Frank, thank you. You really do. You do a great job here, and I know you're looking forward to not having to do it anymore. It is a lot of work. I don't blame, but my question is, we keep getting hit with these mandates from New York. What we have to do, especially in healthcare costs and retirement costs. With 840 employees. What do we have in our contract with the unions for these costs that come in after we have an agreement with the union? I mean,
the retirement and healthcare are actually benefits for the employee. You know, so the percentage rate and, you know, why does the county end up, you know, holding the whole bill where until the next contract? Especially in like retirement. I have my own retirement. I didn't sign up for the state here because I wasn't planning on spending my life here. Right? But I have my own because I put that in there and I struggle, you know, some months to put that money in there every month, but I make sure it goes in there. But that's a benefit, you know, for an employee. And so if we have to put more money, the state says, well, you're gonna have to put some more money. You know, why isn't that a direct responsibility of the employee? Those increases.
Well, as far as the retirement, I think as your salaries and wages go up, your retirement's gonna increase. I think that's done over a 7-year, average. Is how the comptroller estimates it. It depends on the returns that they get from the fund itself. I know if you're, a tier 6 that you pay till you retire. Tier 5, I don't think so. It's paid for a certain period of time. But all the tiers below that, you don't pay for maybe 10 years. Then you're vested and you don't pay. And it falls to the county. To the municipality.
Is that something we maybe should look into? You know, it's a benefit,
Yeah, I'm not sure we can. That's the point.
you know, because I look at corporations compared to government. And, you know, you can't compare apples to apples, but, you know, it seems like the government has no problem saying, hey, let's, you know, COLA, I don't know, you know, how many large corporations, give out, you know, the COLAs. That's, to me, that's a raise, all right? But it's not considered as a cost of living, all right? But yet New York State hands out a cost of living check for this year, you know? It was a whopping, you know, large amount of money. I mean, I haven't got mine yet, but supposedly it's on its way.
As far as the health insurance, that is, it used to be like, under 10% that the employees, contribute. And over the years, we, just about everybody now is at 25-ish. So, yeah, I mean, there's other things you can do with it, but, that's my introductions at this point.
You know, it's just, you know, how the cost of everything's going up, but like I said, it's, you know, it's a give and take, but. The way I look at it is that we have to go out to our constituents. And say, hey, look, this is what's going on and you gotta pay for something, and they look at me and saying, well, I don't get that. And I'm like, well, you're right. But that's the way it is, so it gets a little confusing sometimes. I'm just wondering what we could do, or do we have something locked in there where, you know, we can make these adjustments when New York State says, oh, well, you gotta contribute more.
I believe when it comes to retirement, though, full-time employees are required to be in New York State retirement. You don't have the option, only optional if you're part-time, seasonal. So we don't have that option. They have to be.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. No, I just say that, employees, as civil service employees, full-time have to be in the retirement system for New York State. They contribute to that retirement system, as do we. The other thing, point on the healthcare, we got all contracts with the unions at 25%, where employees contribute 25%. We contribute 75%, and as the healthcare costs go up, they go up proportionally 25 to 75 for employees as well. An average employee this year, at our median pay in the county, with a 3.25% increase, their paycheck goes up by maybe $37. A paycheck and their healthcare costs have gone up about $26. So the difference between 26 and 37 roughly is what they're getting in an increase for 26 pay periods.
Well, that's still a huge benefit, I mean, 75%. As cost goes up, and I mean, and like I said, I look at the people outside, you know, in the county, New York State, actually in America, you know, the way the government is structured.
Supervisor Driscoll.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to the budget officer and the team for all of your hard work. Budget officer reminded us that the major cost to our budget is personnel, 800 plus individuals. But also the major cost is the programs and services that the county provides to 65,000 individuals. Even if you never call the sheriff's department, you're getting public safety. Even if you sit in your home throughout the year, you're getting infrastructure services. Even if you don't access social services, office for the aging, health services, you're getting quality of life services. So that's really the major part of what we do, providing programs and services to the public, so that they can get the most out of their tax dollars. So, thanks.
Thank you. Supervisor Clemo.
Thank you. You did a great job on the budget. And this will be my last year looking at one, but and I've said it many times over the years, it should do something to restructure the sales tax revenue to the towns. I mean, because the town lives on water, they get $6 million, and the town that doesn't have water, maybe gets 600,000, or 200,000. I mean, so, I know geographically they got water, so it makes it more valuable. But when a town gets $6 million out of sales tax revenue, and other towns like Lake Ozark gets 250,000, it's tough to keep up with the payroll and equipment and paving. So I think there's got to be down the road some other way, a system. Some of the smaller towns like sales tax, lock tax. There's a percentage. Everybody gets a flat percentage. I think it's 30%. Then they get extra for when they collect more. Maybe you do something like that with your distribution of sales tax revenue. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Supervisor Boyle.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. One other on page 5. These are items driving appropriations. The very last one is the 7th court ordered competency exams for the public and those that may not know. That's when individuals are charged with a crime, but they're deemed competent to be able to stand trial. If my memory is good, I think we spent well over $1 million this year for court ordered exams. There is an issue. I have an issue with it being fully state employees, state facilities and the like. But you said it's going up 200,000. 200,000 for what base? And are we going to be negative next year also? It's not.
I think it was at 600. I think it's 800,000. So, but it'd be nice to look at all of it.
No, I get it.
Plans to take.
Thank you, Frank. I just wanted to get that out and deal with spending so much money.
No one else up there. Sure.
Say personally, we're certainly gonna miss Frank going forward. And a lot of challenges with the budget. He did a great job with it. That being said, I guess we'll go on reading the resolutions.
Resolution number 401, or resolution number 102, distributed to the supervisors, posted to the Lyon County website on November 3rd. Or resolution numbers 3 through 6 were distributed and posted on November 5th. Motion is needed to bring forward resolution number one.
Motion by Supervisor Runyon, do we have a second by Supervisor Moreno? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
For resolution number one will now be resolution 402. Motion to bring forward resolution number two to the floor.
Motion to bring number two to Supervisor Runyon, do we have a second? Supervisor Bruno? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
For resolution number two is now resolution 403. Motion to bring forward resolution number three to the floor.
Motion to bring for resolution number three by Supervisor Grassi, second by Supervisor Runyon. Any discussion on floor resolution number three? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
For resolution number three is now resolution number 404. Motion to bring forward resolution number four to the floor.
Motion by Supervisor Disco, second by Supervisor Turner. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
For resolution number four is now resolution number 405. Motion to bring forward resolution number five to the floor.
Motion to bring number five to the floor. Supervisor Runyon, we have a second by Supervisor Gilligan. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Carried.
For resolution number five is now resolution 406, and motion to bring forward resolution number six to the floor.
Motion to bring number six to the floor by Supervisor Turner. Do we have a second? By Supervisor Wild. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carried.
For resolution number six is now resolution 407.
Okay, I'll open the floor up to any public comment on any of the resolutions.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 401 that did not go through committee, if I'm not mistaken, and so I see the sheriff is wondering if we could get some
It
background.
did go.
Oh,
through
we did.
committee. It was approved by the Criminal Justice Committee for the November 21st board meeting,
Uh,
but because they were trying to get the contract complete sooner, I'm assuming for weather, it just got bumped up
Thank you.
into this.
So it's important, you're gonna hold on it.
Thank you.
Any Supervisor McGowan?
Yeah, they're going pretty quick there. I just didn't want to miss the opportunity to speak until I can find. Well, wait. Um. The 150,000. Is that one of the resolutions that I saw it on
Yes.
404,
Number four.
resolution number 4? All right, thank you. I guess my question is, I'm a little concerned with this. One, is this gonna be reversed, or, will this be, reversed once the, government decides to reopen? No?
I don't think so. John, you wanna explain a bit meeting about this?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I would like to take the opportunity to thank Commissioner for Social Services. We've had a lot more together time than she probably ever wanted this past week. Bottom line is, what we're doing in this case is the SNAP benefits were not funded on the first of the month. There was a court order in Rhode Island that said the government had to use reserve funds, contingency funds to fund SNAP payments. We have 6,000 people in this county who receive SNAP payments. That represents 4,000 families. They usually get their payments on their EBT cards starting on the first of the month, and they're usually completed by the 10th of the month. So the government indicated they were gonna be able to fund 50%. They have not done that yet. And then earlier this week, they said they could fund 65% of the SNAP benefits. And the way that works is the government sends the money to the state. The state distribute some money to two separate contractors, private contractors who then fund the EBT cards, and it usually happens about mid-month. Yesterday, there was a court, the Rhode Island court ordered the government to pay 100% of the SNAP payments. The government response, I believe now, is they intend to appeal that ruling, so we don't see any possibility of SNAP payments coming. Probably if they were initiated today, it would be 2 to 3 weeks from now before people would see those in their, on their EBT cards. And that's if they started today. So what we're doing with this is we're going to take county money, like to take county money, with your permission, out of the general fund to fund the Northeast Regional Food Bank, who provides food to our 13 food pantries around the county. And they're actually, and they're also going to set up a drive-by food bank on Tuesday, on November 11th, at Glens Falls High School. We're getting the information on that now and the times for that, where people could drive by and get food run by the Albany Regional Food Bank. What we intend with this is to allocate hopefully $150,000, and then we'd allocate it to the Regional Food Bank on about a $50,000, give them $50,000, and then we see how everything plays out with the government. If the government reopens and starts funding SNAP, then we may not need to use the entire 150,000, but we expected that we wouldn't have a food crisis until about the middle of the month, and that's not the case. What we found is our food pantries, and we think it's a combination of lack of SNAP payments, but also a lack of, or the increase in grocery costs have put a strain on other people in the county. And so the food pantries have been frequented by a number of people, and they're losing, and their stock is going down. So based on that, that's why we brought it as a floor resolution, so we can try to help immediately from this. Other neighboring counties are doing this. Albany County did $350,000. Rensselaer County is doing 150. Saratoga's discussing it. I don't know what their amount is. Essex County did 20,000, and I would like to also highlight Arrow Bank donated 38,000 to the food bank as well this week. So that was really a nice thing. So that's where we stand with that.
I'm not trying to come off unchristian-like, and I really don't mind helping out I want to know, out of that allocation money, that 100% of that is coming to Warren County, and why it has to go down to Latham and then have to come back up here, because I'm sure there's salaries and health insurance and retirement funds that they're taking. But, you know, I know there has been a bigger hit in the pantries, because going to the grocery store is worse than going to the pump where gas was up high. And, you know, it hurts big time, and it's hurting all of us. Everybody feels it. Right? I guess my question is that we keep handing and handing. All right? And to break a cycle, all right, maybe, you know, we have to tighten the belts a little, because I tightened my belt, and I'm sure everybody else in this room can actually say that they've tightened their belts on their spending. And I don't, like I said, on the record, I'm not trying to come off unchristian-like, but here's another sack of money that we have to pull out of our general fund, you know, and being over the so, and I've said this time and time again, when is enough enough? And it just concerns me is that, you know, this government shutdown, and we have to take the money out, which is their responsibility to give us that, but we're not getting reimbursed. So what has happened in the past is, once you start making these payments, we're not gonna get it back. So we might wanna putting something in the budget for next year for this. Because I don't see things changing. It's a cycle that's been going on here with the federal government and New York State. And the taxpayers, what I hear outside, are really getting tired. And I forget, I'm not trying to come off unchristian like, and I really don't mind elderly, but keep giving handouts there. Nothing's ever gonna change.
I was just, I've been through this again all week. I just wanted to say the reason it's easier for us to do the Albany Regional or the Northeast Regional Food Bank. Because if we did individual food pantries, we'd have to have a contract with each one of those food pantries to give them money. And a lot of them are, the food they use is provided through this food bank. It's the one regional food bank. They make 2 trips a week up here to our food pantries and deliver food. And so it was easier just to contract with them. And we'll establish a contract next week, but establish a contract with them so that they could provide the food up here. They've assured us that 100% of the money we commit to them will go directly to food for our pantries. And they'll have to provide us invoices because it'll be under a contract and we'll be able to track those expenses. A lot of them work with volunteers in the area when they come up, so.
Supervisor Driscoll. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Taplin, for the explanation. The way the regional food bank operates, and I've been associated with them for almost 40 years, is again, donations dedicated to a particular municipality or county go to that municipality or county. They work with purveyors from throughout New York State and Northeast to purchase all different types of items, perishable and non-perishable items. A box of cereal that you or I would spend $4 in at the supermarket, they get for less than $1. So if you give them a dollar donation, they're able to get 4 times the amount of food. And again, it would be an incredible headache for our attorney's office to draft up all of these contracts, as Mr. Taplin said. They don't take, like I said, 100% comes back to the county. They've done this in a number of counties already, as well as some larger municipalities, city of Albany and that type of stuff. I was at the food pantry at St. Mary's Church before coming up this morning. Their numbers, the first hour that they were open, or I was there for about 45 minutes, were a lot larger than that first hour normally. And it's that way in all the pantries. I've been in touch with a number of them throughout Warren County, and they've been seeing it throughout the month of October and leading right into November. These are, again, people that we're mandated to serve, and a lot of the people that we're serving, their ability to get food is going to dictate whether or not their children go to school, whether or not they show up for work. Because if you're not feeling well, you haven't eaten, less likely you're going to be able to have the energy to go to school and go to work. So it has an economic impact, in my opinion, also that we go ahead and serve these individuals. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Chair, quickly. Just so you know, I mentioned 4,000 households receive SNAP benefits. Of those 4,000 households, only 17% have no income. They do have income. Many have jobs. The issue is I just caution everyone, we're facing the beginning of something that if the shutdown is not resolved quickly, by the 17th of the month, heating assisted payments will not be given to this county. So that'll be people without heating, money to heat their homes starting on that date. And also that Head Start money is going to stop. So those that have jobs, who have children in Head Start programs won't be able to go to work because they won't have Head Start. So I'm not saying we're
facing a big expense, but we're facing some challenges for it. Any other discussion on resolutions? Dr. Brennan?
Just at this point, this money is coming out of fund balance, and the reason we have fund balance is to cover short-term emergency, things like this, so it's not gonna change anybody's tax rate, the money's already there. It's a savings that we have to cover things like this.
Any other comments? Any roll call votes requested? Seeing none, so let's vote on resolutions. All those in favor of the resolutions signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed. Resolutions carried. Thank you. Privilege of the floor. Any privilege of the floor, public comment, no? Anymore? Please come out, state the name for the record.
Hi, I'm Bob Dillon. I live in Lake George. I grew up here. Tough times ahead. That was an excellent budget review, I have to say. And I don't envy what you guys have to do in the very near future when you make these cuts. There were a couple of things, though, that I heard here that I did not know. That property taxes here are in the lowest 1/3 of the state. I think probably the best kept secret that everybody in this room knows is we have one of the highest quality of life communities in the state. We've got Saratoga just below, and we are the gateway to the Adirondack Park. We've got, I can't even imagine how many multi-million-dollar homes sitting on Lake George these days. Most of them are at least second homes, if not third, fourth homes. The suggestion that you might want to raise the sales tax, which is a regressive tax, which hits the poor, the elderly, and the fixed income people the hardest, is the wrong approach, in my opinion. I think you raise the property taxes. I know nobody wants to hear that, but if you take a look at how many vacation homes and the kind of revenues that come into this community, those people, and you know, I'm happy they're here. I'm really happy to see, but we need to shift the burden to those that can afford it and try to protect people. And listening to this whole food bank thing, this is terrible. And I think we're going to see next year is going to be much worse. And to John's point, if the government doesn't reopen up shortly, all of these heaps, snaps, all this stuff, you're not going to get that money. Who's gonna pay for that? And you know, the minute people start not being able to go to their job because their kids got to have home care, that sort of thing, that's a downward spiral. We need to shift the burden here to those that can afford it. And I think that sales tax increase should be off the charts, not even a suggested thing. And you know, I read the Chronicle yesterday. And I lived over in Washington County, was an elected official over there for 7 years. I had a conversation this morning with Dana Hath because we were real fiscal conservatives. I mean, we were nickel and dimers. And when you look at the potential for the increase that they're talking about next year, 63 positions, 40 full, 23 part-time positions are going to go. And that county has imploded. I was born here in 51. From the time that the Northway opened up, we've been the beneficiary of, you know, the blessing of huge development in commercials. Queensbury is a big center for commerce. That community has imploded. Every major employer from GE to Sandy Hill, all gone. So I really hope that you people think carefully when you decide how you're going to raise the money. There's no question you got to raise more money. That's a done deal. But to take it out on people, and especially, you know, I'm a senior. I'm technically on fixed income. I have to draw out of my IRA for when, you know, I can't make my expenses meet, but I at least have the money. Think about these people that may go homeless. And by the way, if you haven't spent time downtown or in Saratoga and taken a look, and I was in one of the elevated parking lots not that long ago, there was a mattress down below. So please, tax the rich. Thanks.
Anybody else? Any announcements? I know we're doing a free senior citizens Thanksgiving dinner at our house in Warrensburg. I think it's the 23rd Sunday before Thanksgiving. It'll be the 23rd. We put it on every year, and we expect it will be it's put on by the fire company. And we expect we're going to be busier than we have been in the past. Any other announcements, Ben, real quick?
Thank you. In addition to all the activities and events that are going to help food pantries and free feeding programs, it's also a holiday season, beginning of the holiday season, and a lot of organizations are gearing up for Thanksgiving activities, and a lot of them have already had their sign-up deadline for Christmas time. So in addition to, you know, what's going on presently with SNAP and other things, there's a lot of programs. The veterans are collecting for veterans, and a lot of different good organizations are doing their normal November, December activities. Keep those in mind and support them as best you can. I also want to do a shout out to the Glen Falls boys soccer team, which are going to be playing tomorrow up in Potsdam, and they're on their way to I think a state championship. So congratulations to them.
Supervisor Riley?
Thank you, Gavin. Just a quick thing, I'd like to, everybody to meet Jim Niles. He's been on set every meeting we've had for the year. Just won the election and Clayton's gonna take my position. Years, I think he'll do a great job. And he'll do a great job on this board, for sitting in this chair that I've sat in. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Motion to adjourn, Supervisor Conover. You're pushing it.
I know, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just quickly, we are having a food drive at the county. We have collection boxes at DMV and human services. We've taken 1 truckload of food to the pantries already. We started that this week, so thanks to our employees. Also, I just want to mention that the restaurants at Lake George Village and I believe Glens Falls are figuring out ways to make meals available to people as well. So kudos to them. We're trying to figure out how we help coordinate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I have a motion by Supervisor Conover to adjourn. 8 seconds.